Namaste everyone. Welcome to all in this morning session where we are discussing the self consciousness unit. So why we are discussing the self? Because we want to be happy in continuity. So I need to understand everything. So to start with, we are understanding the self consciousness because the self is the knower. Self has potential to know. That's why we are trying to understand the self first. And with awareness in self, we will try to know everything else. So we are trying to understand this self through the activities of the self. So many activities are going on in this self, and we are trying to understand these activities one by one. So we discussed that activity of desire, thought, expectations are going on. Then we discussed its sources, preconditioning, sensation, natural acceptance, right? Then we discussed dimension of realization and dimension of thought. So dimension of realization means the activity of realization, understanding, and contemplation. Dimension of thought means the activity of desire, thought, expectation. So we discussed that we need to be awakened in the activity of block B1, higher level activities. Like, so we discussed that if we are awakened in the dimension of realization, then dimension of thought gets a direction. It is aligned with our natural acceptance. If we are not awakened in the dimension of realization, then our preconditioning sensations conflicts with each other, and it creates contradiction in us. And contradiction is unhappiness. Harmony is happiness. So this is what we are discussing for last few days. So let's take few sharing, then we will move to next slides.
Namaste भैया, सभी को नमस्ते भैया. I have an observation here and you can please share your inputs on that also. Yeah, I observe that there is one thing or the other going on inside me, and the moment there is some incident outside. So, for example, I discussed about my husband. My daughter's vacations are starting from tomorrow. So I talked about her. Let she's going to her nanny's house, but I am not going because I don't have a vacation this time. So I made a plan on my own, and I told it to my husband. And I was expecting something else, because that imagination was going on within me. But what my expectation and his response, they did not match. And the moment he responded to that question of sending her, and then we also plan something. So
जी.
I could notice that the moment that expectation was not met by the response,
Hmm.
so my imagination went to past, what happened in the past. I did not say anything to him. I said okay, but he could see that my expressions have changed. And then I went outside the room. I did my routine work, what I did, but I was observing my imagination. How I think sometimes, I used to think that I have forgotten the events of past, but
Hmm.
that day I realized that somewhere that event from the past, it is there, and it comes into the imagination if it is triggered by some incident.
जी.
So I observed that whole day about how my imagination is still being guided by the past events and some preconditionings also, and the sensations that I am getting from the outside world. So this is one observation, that yes, it is going on, and we think that we have forgotten the past, but I think I need to work more on this, because sometimes I see that the events from the past are still affecting my present. This is one observation, Bhaiya. And another observation, Bhaiya, I have seen that people who are very closely related to me, my family members, my very close friends,
जी.
if they are not responding in a manner which is satisfying for me, so the response, if it is good, then I am happy. If
Hmm.
they are not responding in that expectation wala manner, then I'm not is uncomfortable or in disharmony. But yes, I could see that I am not agreeing with it. And if someone from outside, like some stranger or someone from the institute whom I am not related to, from some other department, if they are behaving in a different manner which is not acceptable to me, or which is not as per the natural acceptance, I am not much affected by this. So this is another observation that I did in the last week, that those who are closely related, they affect us, they affect me more as compared to those who are not closely related. So I am still not able to see Vasudev Kutumbakam, the world is one family, all other beings as my family. I am still not able to see. This observation I have for the past 1 week, and I am observing this more, trying to you know get aligned with the natural acceptance, and trying to see my imagination where it is taking me. And one thing is that I have, another thing that I have noticed is that there is no expression. Like I am not expressing many things outside, whether it is aligned with my acceptance or it is not aligned with my acceptance. And my acceptance may be aligned with natural acceptance, or it may not be aligned with natural acceptance. But the expression outside, it is very limited. I am not responding to, or I am not giving expressions to all the situations, all the events which are happening outside. So this is a question. Yeah, is it okay? Like I am not, saying much. I am not talking to people much, and I am not expressing also my disagreement or agreement or anything. I am just, taking the information and just analyzing it, but not saying anything. So
जी.
yeah.
जी दीदी. So regarding the first part, yeah, remembering the past events. you know. So generally, whatever is inside the consciousness, it remains with us till we resolve it. Generally, negative things, past experiences. So we want continuity of happiness every time. So all those events that are contradictory for me, it uh, remains with us till we resolve it.
Can we resolve it within ourselves, or do we need to have a dialogue always? Because many
Ji.
times it is not possible to have a dialogue.
Hmm.
So I want to resolve it within myself. So I don't know, I don't want to get affected by the past events. But this week I observed that yes, I am getting affected.
Ji. So it is important, Didi, that at least you have noticed and accepted that you are getting affected from past event. Now this past event is not resolved. That's why I am getting affected from it. So it is lying within us. When something happen outside, it gets triggered. And once it is triggered, so I recall all those past events when I was hurt by others. So ultimately, we need to make effort to resolve it. Otherwise, we cannot get rid of all these events. So generally, we divert ourselves. So we are not resolved, we are diverting many issues. So these issues are getting accumulated in us. And once there is a circumstances outside, all these accumulated events gets triggered. So we accumulated, we ignored in the past, we accumulated in the past, and now we are experiencing this unhappiness in present because it is accumulated in us. So this is one part. So why I am not able to resolve it? Because these issues can be resolved with the feeling of relationship, or in terms of the content. Let me share my PPTs, Didi. Yes. So these issues can be resolved with the feeling of relationship, or these issues can be resolved in the light of dimension of realization, contemplation, understanding, realization. What is happening? We are trying to resolve these issues within the dimension of thought. So somehow we convince us, somehow we give logic us, and we divert us from these incidents, but they are lying within us. And it can be resolved only through awareness, only through awakening, only through feeling of relationship. So problem of thoughts can be resolved in the light of feeling. So what is happening? I am not able to decide which feeling is naturally acceptable to me, feeling of relationship or opposition. So if feeling of relationship is naturally acceptable to me, then I will evaluate my thought based on feeling of relationship. So in the light of feeling of relationship, we can see that whatever thoughts, desire are going on in me are not aligned with the feeling of relationship. So with feeling of relationship, we can evaluate our thoughts. And with feeling of relationship, when you will think, then you will find a solution, or at least you will be comfortable within yourself. So somehow I am not able to see an intention of others, because somehow I am in a position, and once I am in a position, it becomes difficult to see intention of the other person. With feeling of relationship, we can see intention of others. Right. So this issue can be resolved with feeling of relationship. So before resolving this issue, you just ask yourself, what feeling is naturally acceptable to me? So when you will move towards feeling, it means you are moving towards dimension of realization. Now, what is happening now? I had some expectation with others. This expectation was not fulfilled. So I am in opposition. Now I am trying to suppress my opposition through some analysis, some logic. Now, for example, ignorance. Now I will not talk. So this is one of the decision that is happened at the level of dimension of thought, that I will not talk. And what I am desiring now, I am desiring, let her speak, let her decide. Now I will not interfere. Now this issue can be resolved with the feeling of relationship. With the feeling of relationship, I can see that she may not be accepting my thought, but she is related to me. So once she is related to me, so I will not take decision to avoid, to ignore. I will be open. This time she is not agreeing with my thoughts, but I will be open for her. So at least I will not ignore if I am in relationship. But what happens generally, we get hurt because our expectations are not fulfilled.
Yes.
And we take route to avoid the other person or to speak less with other person. So all these are happening because of the lack of feeling of relationship at that moment. So this is the reason, Didi. So how can I overcome it? So one simple way is, we should ask ourselves, my unhappiness is because of her disagreement, or my unhappiness is because of the feeling of
Yeah,
opposition that
it's
I
because
have.
of my own imagination. Yes. That I could see that it is because of my own imagination only, Bhaiya.
Ji. So in imagination, feeling of opposition.
Yes.
So in my imagination, expectation has not been fulfilled. So with this, I have a feeling of opposition. And now I am unhappy because of my state of being. Right, Didi?
Right. Yeah.
So just simply check your state, what is naturally acceptable to you. The the more you will ask yourself, what is naturally acceptable to me, you will move from block B2 to B1. Because at block B1, with awakening in block B1, I can have definite feeling for everyone, anytime. So your last part, why I am not able to see this definiteness. So definiteness is not there because we are not awakened in block B1, and some preconditionings are dominating us. So for family members, I have one kind of preconditioning. For others, we have other kind of preconditionings. So for example, for family members, we are preconditioned that family should understand me. Even I am not speaking, my husband should understand me. My family members should be caring. They must care me. Now this kind of expectations, when it is not fulfilled, we get hurt. But for others, we are not expecting with this intensity. So they are respecting, it is okay. They are not respecting, then also it is okay. But for family members or close ones, we have very strong expectation that they must respect me, they must care me. They will not understand, then who will understand me? They are living with us, with me for so many years. They should understand my feeling. They should understand my like, dislike, all these kind of things I have made in my imagination. So when it is not fulfilled, we get hurt. For others, we have another kind of preconditioning. You know? They are not related to me. So it doesn't matter whether they respect me or not, because I don't want to live them and I am not living with them. They are not
Yes.
my relative. But those who are relative, I have fixed many expectations with them. It creates problem.
जी भैया.
So issue is why my feelings are not definite.
Yes, yes. Feelings, yeah, that I think that's coming through observation only. There are so many preconditionings that now I am able to see that there are so many sanskars that I have acquired over all these years, that it is only when the sanskar is triggered, when something happens and my attention goes there, then I am realizing that, oh, okay, this is happening. But otherwise, though, I am just not even realizing many times. Yeah.
Ji. So even this awareness that I have accumulated many sanskar, it will dent my sanskars. The more we are aware that it is happening because of my sanskar, and this awareness will dent my sanskar. They will lose.
जी.
So each time we need to make effort. Now other is not disagreeing. Now what should be feeling that is naturally acceptable to me? So this is the struggle, Didi, that we need to do inside. And this struggle is because of our sanskar, preconditioning.
Yes. The struggle I am able to see. I am struggling many times during the day. Sometimes I am able to resolve, but many times I am not able to resolve.
Ji.
One thing
So,
is that because I am not expressing much outside, so further problems are not created. Sometimes the people don't have control over their words or their expressions, so it increases the intensity of the situation. But because I am not expressing much, and it takes me some time to analyze what is happening. And by the time I realize what is happening, yeah, this is how I should have responded. The time to respond is over. So I don't respond. Yeah, maybe I will
so
be in future. I
Ji,
will be
Didi.
able to respond at that moment only, because this is also frequently happening that I am not able to respond at that moment. Because at that moment I go into that analyzing and all those imaginations that okay,
Mhm.
this is happening, this should not be like this, what is my feeling, how I am doing, and so the responding time is over. I'm not responding much. So later on, when the analysis is over, I will come back to respond, but by that time the response is no longer required.
Yes. So after so many analysis, we should reach to the conclusion that I had a feeling of opposition that time.
Yes, yes.
Now what feeling is naturally acceptable to me this time? So once feeling is ensured, our thoughts analyzing will be guided by our natural acceptance, feeling of relationship. So our analysis will be harmonious naturally once feeling is
Yes.
ensured. So our analysis is not harmonious because our feeling is not ensured. Feeling of relationship is not ensured.
जी 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 भैया.
And second thing is we are not expressing outside. This is one part. But if we are in inner reaction inside, then it is damaging our consciousness. Maybe it is not damaging outside circumstances, but it is damaging our consciousness.
But if I am resolving within myself and I have resolved also, then also it is affecting my consciousness.
Once you are resolved, once you have a feeling of relationship, then many sanskars will be evaluated because of this feeling of relationship. So it will also affect, but it will affect in terms of harmony. So there are three states, Didi: reaction, inner reaction, and response. Reaction means whenever my expectation is not met, I react outside. So suppose the same case as you are describing. And suppose you said something and your daughter did not agree with you. So your expectation is not fulfilled. That's why there is a reaction. If I am expressing outside, so this is a reaction outside. If I am not expressing outside, but inside I am uncomfortable, so this is inner reaction. Mm-hmm. Now response is, I can ask myself what feeling is naturally acceptable to me. So once I am clear that feeling of relationship is naturally acceptable to me, with this feeling of relationship, I can understand her state, I can understand my state, then we can make a next program or right program. So this is a response. Response means I am able to see feeling of relationship with others. Now I am analyzing what to do. So this is response.
जी भैया, thank you भैया, thank you for such a detailed answer.
जी.
Yeah, I will work on this more. Thank you.
जी जी जी. नमस्ते दीदी.
जी नमस्ते भैया.
नमस्ते भैया.
नमस्ते दीदी.
भैया, I observe many things keep going on in my mind in a day, and I want to do something in future, and many time I think about I didn't do something in the past. So these things keep going in my mind, in my imagination, and then I try to find which path I should follow to achieve what I want, and I keep thinking about which mistakes I made in the past. Now I shouldn't repeat that mistakes. So while thinking about these things, many things contradict to each other, and there are conflicts in thought and imagination. So because of these things, my imagination move one object to another object, and I could see my imagination is driven by preconditionings and sensation till now. But I keep trying to solve things with natural acceptance. And many times I observe, I know what is naturally accepted, but still I make the same mistakes. So, what should I do to not repeat the same mistake? Bhaiya, I want to ask, what should
Yes,
I
yes,
do?
only last line
Bhaiya,
was not.
I want to ask, like, many time I know what
जी.
is naturally accepted and what is not naturally accepted, but still I make the same mistake. So, what should I do to not repeat the same mistake?
जी दीदी. So this is very interesting. And whenever we ask any question whether it is naturally acceptable to us or not, the answer comes very clearly. Suppose, for example, if we ask ourselves, we should overeat or not, what is naturally acceptable to us? nurturing our body or damage? So answer is very clear, nurturing our body. But whenever there is food, we then overeat.
जी भैया
So why it is happening? Because this is our intention, natural acceptance, that we should nurture our body.
जी
But
भैया
our preconditioning and sensation dominates my natural acceptance. They are much strengthened. So they are so strong that once food is there, some of
जी भैया
my sensation or preconditionings get triggered. Once it is triggered, my taste and we start analyzing how to enjoy this taste. And this influence of taste is like a cloud that is spread into my imagination. And because of this influence of taste, that moment I am not able to refer my natural acceptance. I
ओके
have
भैया
potential, we have potential, but at that time the dominance of taste is so much that we forget that we need to ask whether it is naturally acceptable to us or not.
जी
So
भैया
out of dominance of taste, we overeat.
जी भैया
Right. So though we are clear what is our natural acceptance, but our sanskar are not aligned with my natural acceptance. Our preconditioning or sensations are not aligned with natural acceptance. But when your preconditioning is aligned with your natural acceptance, you will not overeat. For example, if you have fast, people do fast in Navratri or
जी
Monday. So whether food is tasty, but you do not eat more because of your preconditioning.
यस भैया
So whenever preconditioning is aligned with natural acceptance, your work and behavior will be controlled. When it is
यस
not aligned with natural acceptance, so your intention is clear, but your actions will be opposite to your intention. So
यस
that's
भैया
why we need to be aware of our imagination. We need to evaluate our preconditioning, whether it is
ओके
aligned with natural acceptance or not. So once this work is done, then there will be definiteness in our behavior and work. So after evaluation and after resolution, we will be behaving in the same manner that we intend to do in the light of natural acceptance. So this preconditioning sensations, these are obstacle.
जी भैया
Ji Didi. So nice Didi that you are observing. You are
सो
becoming.
भैया टू
जी.
to trying evaluate our preconditioning we are able to control our we are able to control what should we not to do
Yes. Once you evaluate your preconditioning in the light of natural acceptance, you need
Yes,
not
भैया
to control anything. It will be natural to take what nurture your body. So our behavior and work will be natural. Once
Okay, भैया
my imagination is aligned with the natural acceptance. So
जी
what
भैया
we need to do, we need to make effort to only evaluate to our preconditioning. We need to aware of our imagination and we need to evaluate it in the light of natural acceptance. Rest thing will happen naturally.
जी भैया
So our behavior and work is direct impact of our state of imagination. So whatever is going on in our imagination, it reflects in behavior and work. And whatever is going on in my imagination, it is creating happiness or unhappiness in me. Now this happiness or unhappiness I can resolve in the light of dimension of realization. So this randomness in our imagination, this zigzag selection in our imagination can be resolved in the light of dimension of realization. So if there is an issue in behavior, it can be solved by working in the dimension of thought. If there is an issue in the dimension of thought, then it can be resolved through working in the dimension of realization. So ultimately, we need to make effort to be awakened in the dimension of realization. So we need to realize coexistence. We need to understand harmony in nature. And we need to understand our participation in larger order. So once I am clear of my participation, then my imaging will be definite. So for example, just take one example. So there is a food, as we were discussing the case of overeating. So let's understand this example with this figure. So suppose there is a food outside. I am watching it. I want to eat it. Now, if I am awakened in higher level activities, then I will select food to participate in the order of the body. Right. So my selection will be definite. So I will take that much of food that is required to nurture my body, because now I am clear what is my participation to the body. So my participation is to nurture my body. And now my imaging, my thought, my expectations, these all are aligned with the participation. So now I will select food to participate in the harmony of the body. If I am not awakened, then maybe my imagination is dominated by sensation, and I may take more quantity than the required. So it may damage our body. But with the clarity of participation, what is my participation? So I will select the quantity that is required to nurture the body. Similarly, take one more example. So someone in our family is not agree with us. Now with the clarity of participation, I will be clear what feelings are required to participate in this situation when people do not agree with me. So it will be clear to us that with feeling of relationship, I can participate. Now I will not have feeling of opposition because I am clear of my participation. So if people do not agree with me, so I will be clear that I can participate with feeling of trust. I can participate with feeling of respect. I can participate with feeling of affection. So if I am awakened in these higher level activities, then what is my participation? It will be clear to us whether other people agree with me or not agree with me. So I will be clear what is my participation. So in family, what will be my participation? So with feeling of relationship, I will be participating. So with feeling of trust, with feeling of affection, with feeling of respect, with feeling of care, I will be participating. So my participation will be definite. My desires will be definite. So once I am clear of my participation, now I will evaluate my preconditioning. I will evaluate it and I will align with the participation in larger order. So with this clarity of participation in larger order, my desire, thought, expectations will be definite. I will not be imaging otherwise. Otherwise means I will take revenge. I will ignore this person. I will not talk to that person. So now I will not desire otherwise. So with the clarity of participation, I will analyzing what words should be selected, how to behave, what reference should I make, that we can ensure relationship in continuity. Even situation is not according to me outside. With this, I will be selecting the right words, right behavior, so that it can ensure harmony, at least from my side, outside. So with clarity of participation in larger order, my desire, thought, expectation will be definite. Definite means now my content of imagination will be aligned with the participation in larger order. Now to ensure my participation in larger order, I will be desiring, I will be analyzing, I will be selecting, I will be comparing. Now my analysis will be to ensure the coexistence, to ensure harmony, to ensure justice. Now my selection will be for ensuring coexistence, harmony, justice, not otherwise. Now my desire will be to ensure coexistence, harmony, justice, not otherwise, because now I am clear of my participation. I am clear of the relationship. So suppose one of our family member is shouting, then what will be my participation? To reply them in the same manner, tit for tat, or to start with feeling of relationship. What would be the my participation? That we can ask ourselves. So at least we can participate. Even people are not agree with us. So we can participate. So with clarity of coexistence, harmony, my participation, now my desire, thought, expectation will be definite. It will be not otherwise. With this, at least my behavior will be definite. My work will be definite. So at least I will behave with the feeling of relationship. At least I will behave to complement the other. This will be my participation. So with clarity of coexistence, harmony, and participation, my imagination gets guided. So once my imagination is guided, then my behavior work is definite. Definite means it is aligned with the harmony, not otherwise. So now my each desire, my thought, my selection is aligned with the participation in larger order. So with the clarity of my participation, I will be clear in my imagination. I will be aware what I am analyzing. Is it aligned with the participation in larger order or not? I will be evaluating my desire. Is it aligned with participation in larger order or not. If I am aware of these things, I will be evaluating my preconditioning. Now, evaluation of preconditioning will happen naturally once I am clear of my participation in larger order. Once I am clear of harmony in nature, once I am clear of coexistence. So the more I am clear about existence, harmony, my participation, evaluation of my preconditioning will happen naturally. Selection outside will happen naturally. That will lead to harmony. My comparison will be aligned with coexistence, harmony, and justice. So with this, my imagination will be definite, my behavior work will be definite, my participation will be definite, and I will be living with definite human conduct. With this, now it will not matter to us whether the person is from our family member or that person is from outside of our family. So I will start with participation, with relationship, with feeling of relationship. So whenever we have a feeling of relationship, we participate outside. Whenever we have feeling of opposition, we withdraw ourselves from outside. That reflect in terms of ignorance, isolation, avoidance. So it all happens because I am not able to accept relationship. I am not able to see my participation. So this is what we need to make effort.
Hello, Bhaiya,
Ji,
Namaste,
Didi.
Bhaiya, Namaste to all.
Namaste, Didi.
Bhaiya, I was having one question that if we have, how do we develop the feeling of relationship with the people, those who commit crime? For example, really, see, yesterday I was just going through the newspaper. I just saw in Tamil Nadu, in Erode and Salem, they have committed some crime. Some people, they have killed the elderly people just for the sake of gold jewels and all. So I was just thinking, if how to develop the feeling of relationship with such people, and how, and if a police or a judge from a court, if they develop this feeling of relationship, how will they be able to give that quantum punishment to them, that for that crime that they have done? So this was the doubt that I was having. But yeah.
Ji. So one important thing is, Didi, we are in relationship already with every unit.
Yes.
We need not to develop relationship. We need to recognize relationship.
Yes.
So once we are in this existence, we are in relation with everyone, with every unit.
Yeah.
Now it's matter whether we are able to recognize it or not, right? And when we are going to recognize relationship, what would be the basis? This is important.
Mm.
Will the other's behavior be the basis of recognizing relationship? For example, in our family members, many times our child manipulate, they lie to us for toys, for to eat something in canteen, they tell lies. So would these acts be the basis of our relationship, recognizing the relationship? So if behavior is the basis of recognizing the relationship, then it will be difficult to recognize relationship with anyone.
Yes.
If we recall our childhood, many times we have manipulated Many times we told lie to our parents. Many times we fought with our brother, sister for a small toy, toffee, chocolate. So now important question is, what would be the basis of recognizing the relationship? Because behavior can be done under influence. Behavior can be done under the influence of some sensation, some preconditioning.
Yes.
And let's take very simple example, very appealing but very simple example. We all want to nurture our body, but under the influence of sensation, we overeat. Now, if someone is observing this behavior, it will be difficult for him to recognize relationship on the basis of behavior only. So we are exploiting our body. We are not exploiting others' body. We are exploiting our body under the influence of sensation. So if we can damage our body under the influence of some sensation, it is more easy to damage others' body under some influence.
Yes.
So it is happening because of some influence, some preconditioning. So we are also doing the act, other is also doing the act under some influence. Now how can I recognize relationship? Relationship can be recognized at the level of feeling. So intention is right, that we should be able to see. But under some influence, under some preconditioning, that person is not able to do harmonious behavior. Now, what would be the role of police? If police do their job with feeling of relationship, so they will stop that person. They will get them into jail, because to confine them is required. Otherwise, they will damage more. Now, in the jail, they will be working for their growth of consciousness. They will be helping them to evaluate their preconditionings. So this part is not happening in the jail. So we identify criminal, we put them into jail, but what next? So what next is not clear. So what next is not clear because we are not clear of human being, about human being, what human being is. So if we are clear that human behavior is depend on the awareness of the person. If he is not aware of the preconditioning, if he is not aware of the sensation, if he is not aware of his imagination, then he is not aware what he is doing. He is doing unconsciously. So what is the help to those person? We can help them to be aware of their state of imagination. Right.
Yes.
So nurturing the humanity is the role of teacher, as we all are doing. Protecting the humanity is the role of police, this kind of people.
Yes.
So nurturing and protection both has to happen. So we are protecting society from these people, but we are not nurturing them. So if we make program for nurturing them, many of them will feel guilt what they did in the past. And it happens in many jails, it happens.
Yes.
So that program is to be added, as per my understanding, Didi.
Yes, Bhaiya, correct. Okay, thank you, Bhaiya.
जी. So namaste, Didi.
Namaste.
So we need to realize this coexistence within. So once we realize this coexistence within, we will be able to see our coexistence with every unit, our coexistence with the realities. And with this coexistence, I will be able to see harmony within us, harmony outside also. And within this harmony, I will be able to see my participation in larger order. And once I am clear of my participation, then my imaging, desire, thought, expectation will be aligned with coexistence, harmony, and justice. And once my imagination is aligned with coexistence, harmony, and relationship, then my behavior, at least from my side, will ensure happiness, will ensure mutual prosperity, will ensure human goal. And if it is done through education sanskar, then we will move towards undivided human society, universal human order. And if we provide such kind of education sanskar generation to generation, it will ensure human tradition. So that's it for today. It's also time for Hindi session.